Ryomen Sukuna, one of the most handsome and simultaneously also one of the ugliest characters in Jujutsu Kaisen. But what he's most known for is how powerful he is. And how does he get this power? Well, it's by his fingers. With each finger that Sukuna consumes, he gains a great amount of power. But just how much power does each Sukuna finger hold? It is a question that many people ask because it could be a lot of different answers. And today I'm here to tell you that I also don't know the answer to this. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Well, no, of course, I have a couple ideas on how it works, but no one actually knows how it truly works. But it's fun to theorize and speculate because there actually is a lot of evidence suggesting for which of these theories could be true. So today I will be sharing 4 really crazy but also very likely theories to be true about how much power each Sukuna finger gives it. And if you're a Jujutsu Kaisen fan and you aren't subscribed to the channel, hey, I would really recommend subscribing. I got a ton of GEGE content just like this, theories, analysis, power scaling, live streams, all the good stuff. So I'd recommend subscribing and help your boy out by leaving a like too. Thank you very much if you do. And thanks to the honored one and special great members of the channel, East Kaisen and that guy Trade. You guys are absolute legends. Now, one thing's clear about these Sukuna fingers is that they are very musty, dusty, probably crusty, and they, let's be honest, probably smell like crazy. Who would want to be eating these things? I mean, even Yuji said that these things taste disgusting. Well, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, I and you watching will no longer need to eat foods like these Sukuna fingers. And the sponsor is Factor. With Factor, you can get fresh, ready-made meals delivered right to your doorstep when you sign up with them. It's all fresh, never frozen. It's designed by dietitians to ensure every meal is packed with premium, nutritional quality. No more meal prep, no more dishes, no more unhealthy fast foods. Factor offers the most convenient way to eat well while eating right. With a vast variety of meals to choose from, 27 plus meals and many add-on options, trust me, it's all good and you're definitely bound to like something here. Whether you're doing fitness goals and you're trying to eat well and stay fit, well, it's definitely going to help you because it'll give you very great food that tastes very great and it'll also provide a lot of nutrients as well. And it saves a lot of time making food. I mean, hey, I'm a university student. I imagine a lot of you are either students or you're working a lot so you don't have many time, especially to create really well-made food because it does actually take a lot of time to make these foods. Well, with Factor, not only do you not have to shop anymore for these foods, there's also no prep and there's no mess. It's made really quickly, made very easily, and all the ingredients are already there for you. And it even offers meals for those who want to follow keto, low-calorie diets, vegan diets, vegetarian lifestyles. I mean, with just a few click of the buttons, there we go. It's already set to whatever you want. So what are you waiting for? Don't eat these Sukuna fingers. Use Factor. And if you use my link, or if you use the code on the screen, and it's also in the description so you can just copy and paste it, you can get a big discount for your first box. And as you can see on the screen, it is a really good discount too. So trust me, be sure to sign up for Factor now. Don't be like Yuji, be like Sukuna, funny enough. You know, he's got a private chef, he's got Urume making him good meals, though we won't question what's in those meals. Be like him and actually have fresh and ready-made meals for yourself. And again, thanks to Factor for sponsoring this video and the second time they're sponsoring. Alright, now before I actually get into these theories about which Sukuna scaling is going to be true or how much each power is given via each finger, the first thing is to actually go over the things that we definitely know for a fact about these fingers. Number 1, it's that one finger has a lot of power. At the very least, far more power than a semi-grade 1 sorcerer. The reason we know this is because obviously the first finger bearer that we saw was coasting a grade 2 Megami, and the second finger bearer that we saw that was stronger than the first one but was still 1 fingers was obviously coasting a Megami who was actually somewhat close to semi-grade 1 level, as it was implied that he was on Kamo's level. Even though both he and Kamo were holding back in the Goodwill fight, it was still relatively pretty even. And it takes Megami getting a grade 1 level power up to actually now beat this finger bearer. And what we know is that at least one finger Sukuna is stronger than both of these finger bearers too. And obviously 2-fingered Sukuna is stronger than the finger bearer since, well, you know, it's got more cursed energy, it's 2 fingers, and very clearly it beat the first finger bearer. Now for the next one is something that's very tricky and complicated to scale. It's 3-fingered Sukuna, and this scaling goes all over the place. Okay, so the first thing that we have is that this 3-fingered Sukuna possibly scales to Toji. At the very least, this Toji moved faster than 3-fingered Sukuna at one point, but Megami's words said, and I quote, that he rivals Sukuna's speed. And it's a very hot topic. So what we know for a fact is that in chapter 111, Megami straight up says that Toji moved faster than 3-fingered Sukuna. So right then and there, for at least in that moment, he moved faster. But then 2 chapters later, he then says, oh wow, this monster, his speed rivals 3-fingered Sukuna. And this gets very tricky because there's a lot of different interpretations to this. So what my interpretation is that all he's saying is that he can't actually differentiate the two in terms of speed. And this makes a lot of sense if you look at all of his dialogue boxes in the entire fight. He literally says, I can't track his movements, he's too fast, I can't react. He cannot follow Toji's movements. He doesn't know how fast Toji is. All he knows is that he's way faster than him. And it was the same case with 3-fingered Sukuna, so all he can actually say is, you know, that these two are both that much faster than him and it's not even comparable. And then obviously there's the first statement that was made early on where Megami straight up says that he was faster than him in that moment. So in my own opinion, obviously I have Toji being much faster than 3-fingered Sukuna, but I will say that there are those who actually do believe that Toji's only as fast as 3-fingered Sukuna. And keep in mind, I will be doing that this video where I'll say my own opinion and I'll say what other people think to just, you know, give all of the point of views. Because even if I think I'm really right or I'm definitely right, my word isn't GEGE's own word. words, right? I can't actually confirm all these things, so I'll give all the opinions on these. The next thing about Three Finger Sukuna is the Mahoruga statement, and oh boy, this is gonna get very interesting. Basically, Sukuna says while he's fighting Mahoruga, he says, if this was me at that time, I might not have been able to win. What this implies is that Sukuna at Three Fingers actually has a chance to fight Mahoruga, or at least beat him, right? Well, in my opinion, I don't think that's the case at all. Let's be real, Three Finger Sukuna is getting destroyed by Mahoruga, again, in my opinion. So I think there were two things that were going on there. The first one is he's probably referring to a mentality or a way of thinking that he had, because the only thing that he got from that Megumi fight, and the only thing that Megumi had shown him, was how Megumi shifted his mindset or changed the way he fought, and that really impressed Sukuna at that moment. So actually looking at the context of what Sukuna found impressive or what he learned from Megumi in that first fight was, again, the mindset shift. So that's what I think he must have been referring to. But the second sort of answer that I have for this is that Sukuna actually isn't referring to himself winning, but it's just pretty much him not ever admitting defeat. So what I'm trying to say is, even if he knows he would have gotten bodied by Mahoruga, he would have never, and I mean never, say outright that I would have lost or he would have beat me from back then, even if it's only Three Fingered Sukuna, and even if he knows it's true. The reason I say this is because even One Fingered Sukuna was very confident, and the entire Gojo fight he was like, I'm gonna kill you, you're nothing, sorcerers of this era, this, that, and the other. And he was trying to kill him the whole time, and he was confident the entire time, even after Gojo sat on him like a chair. So if One Fingered Sukuna is that confident against full power Gojo, and he knows he can't beat him, but he's gonna say that I can beat you and all these things, well, it makes sense. His ego isn't gonna let him say, oh, Mahoruga would have beat me. He is the honored one. He would never admit something like that, even if it's true, and even in his own thoughts. And I'll get this Jogo point up later, but we know for a fact that Jogo has more cursed energy than Three Fingered Sukuna. And I see Mahoruga absolutely bodying Jogo, so the actual scaling here just doesn't make sense at all. It would basically be implying that Mahoruga actually has a lot less cursed energy than Jogo, which I just don't think is true. Again, these are just my interpretations and my opinions about this. Some people actually do believe that Three Fingered Sukuna could beat Mahoruga, and it could be true depending on one of these theories. So if one of these theories I'm going to get into in the actual video is true, then actually it would apply. But myself, I don't go with that. But if you do, hey, that's completely fine. And the last thing we know about Three Fingered Sukuna is that Jogo just has a lot more cursed energy than him. And it's said by Mahito's own words. And Mahito doesn't say that he's just got some more cursed energy, like it's undeniable facts and it's the truth. And then we also have 8-9 Fingered Sukuna, and this is by Kenjaku's own words, where he says if he's being generous, Jogo would actually be as strong as 8-9 Fingered Sukuna. And this is very consistent with what Mahito says as well. And with some of the theories that we'll be getting into, it would make sense how even if Jogo is this strong, and it's being generous though, why he would get coasted by 15 Fingered Sukuna. But again, not everyone actually agrees with this. Some people say Kenjaku was tricking him or he's being dishonest, which doesn't make sense. If Kenjaku wanted him to fight Gojo, he would have said that he's actually a lot closer to Gojo's level to think that he had a chance. Funny enough, once we get into the theories in the video, and even with Mahito's own words, it is actually very consistent 8-9 finger scaling of Jogo. And lastly, we have 15 Fingered Sukuna, who's just a monstrosity. In terms of just the amount of cursed energy, reinforcement, and output he has, he's actually on the level, if not actually stronger than a Heian era top tier, such as Yorozu, who's said to have Heian top tier level output and the amount of cursed energy that she has, though it's just an efficient amount or that she can actually use it, but that's her curse technique's fault, not her actual output or cursed energy's fault. And at the very least, 15 Fingered Sukuna is doing a very good job against Yorozu, if not outright being a good amount stronger than her in these aspects. So yeah, 15 Fingered Sukuna is no joke. And as for 20 Fingered Sukuna, all we know is that he's as strong as Gojo, which, you know, it makes sense. Gojo is the strongest in the verse, other than Sukuna, so pretty much both of them are the two strongest in the verse, said by the narrator himself. Okay, now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's actually get into these theories. The first theory is going to be the most simple theory, and I'll get through it quick. It is pretty much that each finger is a linear 5% increase. I don't really need to explain why people believe these, it just makes sense if you're just reading the series for the first time and you just see, oh, if his power was split into 20 parts, each finger must be 5%. And if each Sukuna finger is holding a tremendous amount of cursed energy, it would make sense why he's getting so much stronger with each finger. And that's the linear scaling. That's the pretty much the most basic way of people scaling a finger. Now, I'm not saying that to say it's not true or to not sound too condescending, but obviously I don't think it's true. It could be true in the end, and I could just look like a big idiot once in the future. They actually clarify what each finger scaling is, how much power each finger gives. So if it is, you can just laugh at me in the comments from the future, but I just don't think it's true, especially given a lot of the evidence that we see in the series. It actually just can't be true. It breaks a lot of the scaling, and it makes a lot of things inconsistent. Now, the second theory is one of the most popular theories, and it's one that I've preached for a long time. It is the exponential growth theory. Now, I'll actually have a graph on the screen right now to pretty much show you what exponential growth means. So the red line is a linear increase, and the blue and green lines are exponential increases. Though the interesting thing about an exponential increase is that it actually depends on the exponent. So is it squared, is it cubed, is it to the power of 5, 6, 7? Obviously these things are going to change it drastically. It fits really nicely. Now, for example, let's say the exponent is like on the green graph, so that's actually the exponential increase that each Sukuna finger gets. You can see that in the first couple of fingers, he's not getting too much stronger. Once you hit around the 5, 6 finger level, it just begins to skyrocket. Now, this would actually make a lot of sense, for example, the Jogo scaling. How Jogo is 8, 9 fingers being being generous, but let's just say, because that's being generous, it's about like 6 really low balling, or 7. 7 seems like the sweet number, because I really do trust Kenjaku's scaling for these things, because again, he's seen everything, he's been alive for over 1,000 years, and everything he tends to say tends to be completely right as well. And whenever Kenjaku is lying or misleading, we actually first get to know that he's lying, or get to see that he's lying, and it's always explained either beforehand or in the situation. It'd be very odd had Kenjaku been lying all that time ago, and not only was it never clarified beforehand or after or even in the moment, it was never even hinted at that he would have been lying. And actually, it seems even for Jogo's own situation where it reconfirms how strong he is while he's fighting Gojo and Sukuna. But this exponential growth would explain how 8, 9 fingers, or again, let's just say 7 fingers, is so much weaker than 15-fingered Sukuna. Had it just been linear, it makes no sense at all, because it would just be what, just about a 2 times increase at most? Sukuna should not have been dominating him that badly. I mean, he was dog walking him, talking the most trash that I've ever seen from anyone. Like, goddamn, I wouldn't be surprised if Jogo just hadn't started calling Sukuna daddy in that fight to try and get him to stop or something crazy. I mean, it was just that rough for Buddy. But it would make sense if, look at the graph, it was exponential. So let's just say for the sake of it, the green one is right. That's probably not exactly like the green graph on the screen. Yeah, about 7, 8 fingers, he's very powerful, but then after that moment, there's a sharp increase, and it just skyrockets. Then you could see it doesn't even show 50 fingers, let's say it goes to 10. Let's say it's not as strong as this graph, but then probably around 13, 14 fingers, it skyrockets. Then you could see how 15-fingered Sukuna with this exponential growth would be so much more stronger than Jogo. And again, it doesn't need to be like this green one exactly, because I didn't make this, I just got this off Wikipedia. But if you just modify it a bit, or change the exponent, or actually change the formula, so it doesn't just need to be one number to the power of something, you can actually add a different entire set of numbers for it, then yeah, you could actually probably create something that fits really accurately, all the way from 1 finger, where then maybe it starts to skyrocket at 13, 14 fingers, maybe even 12 fingers, but it doesn't go that steep all the way until 20 fingers, and it would just suit really nicely. And I just want to quickly say that this exponential theory could also work if you take it to the absolute extreme, but I don't agree with this at all. I'm just gonna say this because some people believe this, but if you believe it is an insane exponential increase, and I just mean an absolutely nutty one, where it'd pretty much be the massive increase in power starts from, let's say, 2 fingers or 3 fingers, then in this case it would make sense how 3-fingered Sukuna would beat Mahoroga, and how 3-fingered Sukuna would beat Jogo very easily. Well, actually it wouldn't make sense because 3-fingered does have more cursed energy than Jogo, but let's say at 4 fingers it starts. But the issue is that if you start it too early, it would just skyrocket it too much, and 20-fingered Sukuna would honestly be a probably solar system threat or something absolutely crazy. So you just can't start the massive exponential increase too early or make it too strong. But let's say the blue one is accurate, and let's say Jogo's 7.5, 15-fingered Sukuna is going to be many times stronger than him, and then probably that massive exponential increase truly begins around the 17, 18 fingers, and then it doesn't get crazy. It suits really nicely. The next theory is the dead cell scaling theory. Now, pretty much the way this scaling goes, as you can see on the screen, is that each Sukuna finger isn't a consistent amount. So maybe the first finger was a 5%, but the second finger maybe 7%, or maybe the next one 8%, and the next one 9%, or then 15%. So in this case, when the graph stops growing, that's pretty much 20-fingered Sukuna. So if you look at the red line here, so let's just say that's each Sukuna finger. So maybe the first 5 or 6 is at 0.5% of the graph, but then let's say it gets around 10 and then 15, there's like major increases, but it's not a massive exponential increase. Yes, it's more than 5%, but it's not like he's getting many times stronger with each finger. And then you hit 20 fingers, which is the top. Now this is a very nice theory, because it's not as extreme as an exponential growth, but it also makes sense on how each Sukuna finger is more than 5%. So pretty much this would actually be kind of a very good cope or way out, because you could say, oh, that's why 15-fingered Sukuna is so much stronger than even 10 fingers or 9 or 8 fingers, because maybe those fingers specifically from 11, 12, 13, 14 just happen to give a very big increase compared to the rest of the fingers. But yeah, that is the dead cells theory. And the last one is the logistics population growth, or just as some people say, the population growth theory. And I'm not gonna lie, I gotta catch myself capping, because no one actually says that, because no one's actually said this theory, at least as far as I'm aware. I actually discovered it while I was researching or came up with the idea. So no one actually says that. I was just capping. Okay, but anyway, to actually break down into the video and not expose myself. Basically, it's the exact same as an exponential increase, as you can see on the screen as I'm showing, but the difference is at some point it would cap out and the increase would begin to get slower. So actually this really fit nicely on why there's such a massive increase of power from 8, 9 fingers, or even 7, 6 fingers, all the way to 15, where maybe from let's say 6 to 15, 16 fingers, there's a massive exponential increase, but then perhaps for the last couple fingers fingers, then it starts to actually go back to normal, and each finger is the same as it was for the first couple fingers. So it would reverse the exponential increase for the last couple ones. So what this means is that yes, each Sukuna finger is important, but the fingers in the middle are the ones that are more important compared to the first couple fingers and the last couple fingers. It's a pretty interesting theory. There's not too much to say. It's just the idea I want to throw out there for if anyone actually wants to believe it. But out of all those 4 theories, which one do you think is true? Let me know in the comments which one you actually believe, and actually provide some evidence as to why you think this is a stronger case than the other ones. I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to say. And if you have any other sorts of graph increase sorts of theories I haven't mentioned and that you think that might be true, let me know as well. You know, if there's any mathematicians out there, hey, shout you. But if you did enjoy the video, do your boy a solid and leave a like. It really does help out the video. Thank you very much if you do. And if you haven't already, hey, subscribe. I got a ton of GEGE content just like this. Versus battles, what ifs, theories, live streams, everything. And if you've watched this far, come on, this channel is perfect for you. And thank you to all the channel members as well. If you see your name on the screen, you're an absolute legend. A Chad, a Sukuna finger. Take care. Have a nice day.